Hi, welcome to the second part of this three-part video on how to kickstart data improvement in your organization. In this part, we will discuss how you can make sure important data is retained, safely backed up, and secured. So much has been said over the last couple of years about data security and of the many breaches in various companies that really this point is almost self-explanatory. Make sure that security administration is transparent, so reduce the opportunity for human mistakes. Ensure that security policies are accessible to users so that they understand how these policies affect them and what policies they need to adhere to. Base these policies around red lines rather than restrictive rules, as restrictive rules can really limit users in doing their job properly, and also usually the number of rules can grow very rapidly and it becomes very opaque on how these rules are constructed. Ensure that user access is always up to date. That includes to data, reports, dashboards, so essentially to content, data, network access. Also have policies around exporting data and storing data on client devices or making data available outside the organization. As a last point, keep software up to date. On the slide here you can see a number of reasons of why it is important to keep on top of your security. The next point is often overlooked, and that is the storage of potentially relevant data. So this comes down to, first of all, having the right infrastructure in place, reducing failures that lead to timeouts, unreachable servers, and loss of users' work, and therefore the data that they have just inputted or constructed. Make sure that a robust backup solution is in place for all your servers and all your client machines. Also review the maximum acceptable loss of data and build your backup solution around this. And remember, you do not have a working backup system unless you have tested successfully restoring the live environment. So also make sure that historical data is preserved where needed. There are a lot of transactional systems that still just overwrite data without preserving previous information. So for example, a customer might ring to update their address information, but you might not keep their previous address. This makes analyzing historical data more difficult, as you can imagine. So an appropriately designed data warehouse or data lake might actually be the solution, as often keeping this historical data in the application itself is quite difficult. Make sure that policies are in place to ensure the data is stored in monitored environments. So it's no good if someone creates a spreadsheet on their own machine and never shares it, or worse, loses it. When it's stored on a laptop, server, or cloud account that is backed up regularly, you reduce the risk of information loss. In the last part of this series, we will discuss the role of tools and processes in kickstarting your data improvement. See you then!